Alright guys, today we're going to talk about writing linear equations. So far we've always been given a linear equation and then graphing it, right? We learned how to graph a linear equation using a table of ordered pairs. We learned how to graph a linear equation using the x and y intercepts. And we learned how to graph a linear equation using the slope-intercept form, the y equals mx plus b. Now we are going to learn how to write a linear equation when given information about that line. Okay, so there are four situations. The first situation is if we were given the slope and y-intercept of the line. Okay. The second situation is when we are given the slope and a point on the line. So not the y-intercept, but just a point. All right. Our third situation is when we are given 2 points on the line. All right, and then the fourth situation is when we are given the graph of the line. Okay, so let's talk about situation number one, okay? Situation number one is when we are given the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so the example for that says this. We need to write the equation of the line with a slope of 2/3 and a y-intercept of 0, -5. Okay, so in order to write this equation, we have to remember what slope-intercept form means, right? We know that we have y equals mx plus b, where this is your slope and this is your y-intercept, okay? Which is what exactly they gave us. They gave us slope and they gave us y-intercept. So all we have to do is substitute the given values into the slope-intercept form of the equation. So when we write it, we will write y equals, and then we're going to write our slope. Our slope is 2/3. Okay, plus our b for the y-intercept, right? And our b value for our y-intercept is -5. So plus -5. Okay? And that's all there is to it. We can rewrite this so we have a plus -5. That's really just saying oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the x, right? There's an x into this form, right? X. So 2/3 x minus 5, right? That is writing the equation. Okay? Awesome. Let's do one more example, right? When we're given slope and y-intercept. Okay? So this is our second example for slope and y-intercept. Okay? We want to write, actually, let's do a different case. Let's do a different scenario. Okay? So we're going to look at situation 2. Okay, so situation 2, remember, going back to what we talked about, we said there were 4 situations. Situation 2 says we are given the slope and a point on the line. Okay, so we're not given the y-intercept, we're just given a slope and a point. Okay, so again, we are going to remember our y equals mx plus b, okay? We want to remember that. It's very important. So our example tells us this. It says, write the equation of a line passing through the point 1, 5 with a slope of 3. Okay? So we automatically know, since slope is 3, we know that our m value is 3. Okay? So, remember how I said we were going to use our slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b, right? Well, we don't know what b is, right? We do not know what b is. We don't know what the slope-intercept is. I'm sorry, the y-intercept is. However, we do know m. We know m is 3. And we do know an x and a y. X is 1 and y is 5. Okay, so because we know all those values, we can now solve for what our slope-intercept is. We have 5 is equal to 3 times 1 plus b. So 5 is equal to 3 plus b. So we subtract 3 from both sides. 2 is equal to b, which means that b is equal to 2. Okay, so now we have an m, and now we have a b, which means now we can write our equation. Our equation is y is equal to 3x plus 2. There's our equation. All right, let's do another example when we have a point and a slope. Point and a slope. So this is still situation number 2. Okay, so we want to write the equation of a line passing through the point -5, 6 with a slope of -1/2. So we already know that our m is -1/2. Okay, so we look at our slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, we know that m is -1/2. We want to figure out what b is. We don't know what our y-intercept is. They didn't give it to us. They did give us an x and a y, right? We know that x is -5 and y is 6. Okay, so now we can solve for b. 6 is equal to -1/2 times -5 plus b. So now we solve for b. First, -1/2 times -5 is +5/2. Now we're going to subtract 5/2 from both sides. So 6 minus 5/2 is equal to b. Okay, so we have to get a common denominator. So we're going to pick 2, right? So we're going to make 6/1, 12/2. So they have a common denominator. And then 12 minus 5 becomes 7. So 7/2 is equal to b. Okay? So now we've got a b, we've got an m, so we can write our equation. Y is equal to -1/2 x plus 7/2. There you go. There we wrote our equation. All right, let's do another example with a point and a slope. Okay, so we want to write the equation of the line that's passing through 1, -6 with a slope of 0. So we know that m is 0. Okay, so we look at our slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, we want to find b, right? They didn't give us the y-intercept. However, we know that m is 0, and we know an x and a y. We know x is 1, and we want to know y is -6. Okay, so we know that -6 is equal to 0 times 1 plus b. So -6 is equal to b, which means that b is equal to -6. So now we have our slope, we have our y-intercept, so we can write our equation. Y is equal to 0x plus -6, okay? We'll clean it up a little bit because 0 times x is 0, plus a -6 is just -6. So this is our equation, y equals -6. All right, now let's talk about case number 3, scenario number 3. All right, situation number 3. Situation number 3, which says you are only given, situation number 3, given 2 points on the line. So situation number 3, 2 points on the line. That's all you're given. You're not even given the slope. You're just given the 2 points. Okay? So our example says this. Write the equation of the line passing through 1, 3 and 4, -2. Okay, so we've got 2 points. So this is where we have to go back to our formula for slope. We know that slope is equal to the difference in your y over the difference in your x. Okay, so now we have to figure out what slope is, right? So we're going to say this is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Okay, so when we do the math, y2 is -2 minus y1 is 3 over x2 is 4 minus x1 is 1. So -2 minus 3 is -1, and then 4 minus 1 is 3. So now we have our slope, right? We know that m is gone back to situation number 2, because situation number 2 was if you're given a point and the slope. Well, we actually have 2 points and a slope, so we are super good on situation number 2. So let's go back to situation 2. Situation 2 says if you have a slope and a point, then figure out what your y-intercept is. So we're going to use y equals mx plus b, right? We want to figure out b. However, we know that m is -1/3. And we know an x and y. In fact, we know 2 different x's and y's, okay? Just pick one. I'm just going to pick the first one. You can pick either one. You'll still get the right answer as long as you only pick one, choose one, and stick with it. So I'm going to choose the first one, 1, 3. So that means x is 1 and y is 3. Okay, so solve for b. So 3 is equal to -1/3 times 1 plus b. So 3 is equal to -1/3 plus b. We're going to add 1/3 to both sides, which means that b is equal to 3 and 1/3, which is the same as saying 9/3, right? So now we have an m, we have a b, which means we can write our equation. Y is equal to -1/3 x plus 9/3. There's our answer. There's our equation. All right, let's do one more like that, okay? So again, we're only going to be given 2 points, okay? So, example, write the equation of the line passing through the points 7, 4 and 7, 2, okay? So remember, when you're only given 2 points, the first thing you have to do is figure out your slope. Figure out m, right? So m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So pick your x1, y1, your x2, y2. So we'll let this be x1, y1. This will be x2, y2. So now we go ahead and substitute those in. So y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is 4, over x2, which is 7, minus y1, which is 7. And what do we get? We get negative 2 over 0. Negative 2 over 0. Okay, so if we have 0 in our denominator, okay, that's a problem. That means that it's undefined. Okay, the slope is undefined. Okay, undefined. And remember, if the slope is undefined, that means it's not a function. It's a vertical line. We can't find a slope. Slope's not even 0. It's undefined. That means it's not even a function. It's a vertical line. And remember, vertical lines look like this. X equals some number. So we go to our points. What is x always equal to? 7. It doesn't matter what your y is. X will be 7. So our equation is x equals 7. All right, we have one more situation to talk about, okay? So situation 4, which was, situation 4, given the graph of the line, okay? So in situation 4, we're just given the graph, and we have to write the equation. Okay, so for this example, okay, we have a city, okay, and they are plotting the growth of their city, their population, okay, and they're plotting it by year. So every year they get a population and they're going to chart it, right? So they started in 2009. Okay, and in 2009 they had 56,000. Okay, so the years, they're going to go by year. So this is 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, and so on, right? And the population, they're going to go by 1,000. So right here, this is 55,000. Then we had 56,000, 57,000. Then we have 58. Then we have 59. We have 60,000, and so on, right? They counted by thousands. So like I said, in 2009, it was at 56,000, okay? And so they give us a graph. Let me just make sure I'm graphing it correctly. And it looks something like this, right? It looks like that. There's a line, okay? It's just a line, okay? So that's all you're given. You're just given that. And you have to figure out the equation. So what you have to do is you have to pick 2 points on the graph. Because if we know we can get 2 points, good points, that we know the exact numbers for, then we can go back to situation number 3 and figure out our equation. Okay, so let's pick let's pick 2 points, okay? So I'm going to pick 2011 because that's 57,000, right? And I'm also going to pick, so again, this was 2011, which was 57,000. I'm going to pick that point, okay? Because I know that that was right on. That's right on, okay? I'm also going to pick 2000 and let's do 15 or 2013. 2013 looks good. 2013, right? 2013 had an exact population of 58,000. Awesome. Okay. So now I have my 2 points. So now I can figure out my slope, right? Because slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to let this be x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So y2 is 58,000 minus y1, which was 57,000, all over x2, which was 2013, minus x1, which was 2011. So 58,000 minus 57,000 is 1,000. 2013 minus 2011 is 2, which means my slope, 1,000 divided by 2, is 500. Okay, so again, we figured out an m. We have an m, and we also have 2 points. We have an m and 2 points, which means that we are back in situation number 2, which says 1 point and an m. Point and a slope. We have a slope, and we actually have 2 points. We get to pick whichever one we want. So we are good for situation number 2. So let's go back to situation number 2. Situation 2 says that if you have a slope and a point, figure out your b, okay? Because we know that y is equal to mx plus b, and we want to figure out b. But we're given m, and we're given a point. We're given an xy, okay? So m, we know, is 500. And let's just do this first point, right? This first point is 2011, 57,000. So our x is 2011. Our y is 57,000. So 57,000 is equal to 500 times 2011 plus b. So this is where our calculator comes in handy, right? Because we're going to figure out 500 times 2011. Really huge number, right? Let's see. So 57,000 is equal to 1005500 plus b. Okay? Now we're going to subtract that really big number from both sides. All right. So now we have, again, calculator, right? 57,000 minus that really big number gives us that, a negative number, right? So negative 948,500 is equal to b, okay? So now I have an m and I have a b, which means I have my equation. Y is equal to m, which is 500, x plus this negative 948,500. That is our answer. That's our equation. All right, thanks for watching.